Okay, welcome back. Our guest is Honorable Philip Agbese. He's Deputy Spokesman, House of Representatives, and he is reaching us remotely from our Abuja studio. Thank you once again, Honorable Philip Agbese, for coming on. Philip Agbese's concern right now is the people, the public understanding the tax reform bill. They themselves, in the House of Reps, he has explained to us, have reached out to expertise to help them understand it. It's not necessarily a walk in the park, but the fear is that not too many people have actually considered these bills. I think there are 4 of them, actually, that have considered these bills by reading them and understanding them line by line, chapter by chapter, as they say. Not many people have done that. But they've looked at the bottom line. And the bottom line is, well, if more money is being called from me, I don't like it. And then there are those who, no doubt will be looking at it from the point of view Philip Agbese has just explained to us that, the whole thing might change. There will be people that weren't receiving before that will now be receiving. He's spoken in terms of needing to be our brother's keeper in certain times. Okay, but we understand all of that, and no doubt when this is pursued a bit more, perhaps clarity will come. Let me come to the whole matter of misunderstanding or not understanding enough. And you did bring up the Governors Forum. I think you implied that it is not their place to lightly call for the withdrawal of bills. We hear, and here you can sort of advise me, that some of you are being threatened by not getting a return ticket when the time comes if you insist on supporting the bill that is those of you that are affected by your part of the country, that you won't get a return ticket when the time comes if you do not comply with the preference, with their preference over there. So I guess the thing to do is to start from you yourself. Has your governor indicated that legislators that don't fall in line will indeed be sanctioned when the time comes?
Well, Okoyori, you see, that is all politics. In politics, especially when you are engaging parliamentarians, you lobby, and probably some governors may have used terms that suggested certain things, but I think what we are doing as a Benue caucus, because we don't really need the governor to talk to us, because as far as the Benue caucus is concerned, we have taken a decision, to support the bills before the House. Our leader is Right Honorable Dixie Taki. We're having a meeting by 4 p.m. today with some other experts, to come up with action plan. And in this case, we are going to send an advisory to the governor, to even dissociate himself from the group. He should take time to study it, engage Benue citizens, get experts to explain this bill, because we know it is something that is good for us. Part of the apprehension on the part of some stakeholders is the fact that some Nigerian leaders, are already used to the allocation from Abuja, that at the end of every 30 days, you call your accountant general to ask what has been sent to the state from Abuja. So you don't have to do anything again. Another important aspect of the tax bill is that this bill, is going to, reinvigorate state investments, local government investment. For instance, before now, across the state, we used to have state mass transit system where, they don't just provide transportation for the citizens of the state, but also generate revenue. States embark on ventures, like building of a hotel, running the hotel in a very good manner that they make profit out of it to also contribute to the revenue net. Nobody has been doing this for a long time. So because everybody is now dependent on what Abuja will send to the various states, this bill is also going to, help the states revitalize the states again, to also make sure that they also contribute to the revenue purse of the nation, because at the end of the day, it is what you bring that you also take back to develop your state. So it is a win-win situation for all of us. I believe that by now, the governor, because when they took that decision, I'm sure it was very hasty. They were not properly advised, and by now they must have engaged their internal experts who must have worked on some of these documents, beginning to be on the same page. So the question of people, of governors threatening members with return ticket, in the first instance, no member was voted by any governor to become a parliamentarian. My governor is not from my own federal constituency, so he never voted for me. Rather, I voted for him, and I voted for the president. So parliamentarians, particularly those of us in the 10th House of Representatives under the leadership of His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, we have nothing to fear. We have nobody to fear. We are working for our country. The only people we fear as far as the People's Parliament is concerned are the citizens of this country, the voters, the masses of our country. And these are the people who have employed us to work for them. So at any point in time, if our employers, not the governors, if our employers are not happy with what we are doing, we have every cause to be worried. But if they are happy, with what we are doing, and we are supporting the president to ensure that we reboot the economy, that we contribute to good governance to develop the country, I think members of the National Assembly, not just members of the House of Representatives, the entire National Assembly, nobody has anything to fear.
Well, as you've just said, the most important person is the person who puts you in office, namely the people. It is the people who, with their vote, it doesn't matter how rich they are or not rich they are, they have the power to put you in office. From a personal perspective, and I think this is important because you don't want to offend them, because all other things being set, they have the power to return you to office or put you in office in the first place. If you were to speak for yourself, since I have you, and I could use you to sort of get a sense of extrapolation, would you say that your constituency, the voters that you represent, that you are doing their will? Because sometimes we all know the legislator, when he's in office, finds himself in the difficult position of having to take unpopular decisions and cast a vote even against the aspirations of his people. So speaking for yourself personally, in your own personal capacity, would you say your constituency is happy with the decision you have arrived at and you have shared with us, that as an individual, you think that this bill needs to be supported?
Well, yes, I came in with my personal agenda as a parliamentarian when I was voted into office, but by and large, what has happened over the last months that we are in office is that we, all of us as a parliament, we have subdued ourselves, fully subscribed to the legislative agenda of the 10th House of Representatives under the leadership of His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, the working document of the parliament. There's no parliamentarian, no member of the House of Representatives who follows the working document of the 10th House of Representatives that his people will not be happy with. If you are open to your people, they are going to be happy with you. If you are accountable to the people, they are going to be happy with you. If you are able to, carry out your legislative functions in terms of oversight and ensure that the agencies of government who are supposed to deliver to them. For instance, we have primary healthcare centers in my federal constituency that were not working before now. I'm doing my best through the legislative instrument of the 10th House of Representatives, to ensure that the responsible committees that are in charge of oversighting the primary healthcare centers, they get them to work. And because my people have seen the primary healthcare centers to be working now, they are happy because Nigerians are now seeing that through the instrumentality of the parliament, the federal government is now building our dilapidated roads, constructing, for instance, the Federal Capital Territory. It is through the parliament that we are seeing the things that are happening in Abuja today. We are seeing development, we are seeing construction of roads, we are seeing rapid development across the Federal Capital Territory. The National Assembly is the parliament of the Federal Capital Territory. So we are carrying out our functions in line with our legislative agenda. And once we continue to do that, our people are going to be happy with us. I'm very, very sure that my people are happy with me. I'm not in the position at the moment to say I'm doing fantastically well, but I think to a large extent from the feelers that I have received from past mentors who have even been in the office that I'm holding at the moment. They've called to say, Philip Agbese, you're on track. I think you should continue in this direction. And the beautiful thing about my federal constituency is also the fact that we have a critical mass of people, at every point in time, if you veer off the road, they tell you, Mr. Man, you are no longer on track, be on track. I receive commendations as well as criticisms from my constituents. And I think these things help to make me a better person.
Okay. Sulaiman in Abuja, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling.
Good morning.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Morning, sir.
My contribution is on the issue of publicity of the bill. The truth of the matter is that the committee that worked on this tax reform bill had been engaging several stakeholders, those who are supposed to know, and even the general public. So it might be wrong to say that people are not sensitized enough. But it depends on how people were able to pay their interest. What attention have they been given to public life, the activities that affect them? That may be where the issue is. Not that the government or the National Assembly or the committee in charge of this tax reform have not done enough sensitization. They have tried their best. But they've been on this matter for many, many months ago now. Thank you. Thank
you very much for your contribution, Sulaiman. But going back to the point that I made, we're dealing with the people here. There are rules. There are rules, and the National Assembly has just, through Honorable Agbese, we've been informed that there are rules that must be followed. But you see, when it comes to communication, you're dealing with the ordinary person. His rules are what he hears and what he knows. And he's going to be getting all that information from lines that are available to him, namely the news, public communication, you know the whole shebang. And so that's why I made the point much earlier on in the program that repetition is not a bad thing. And in the private sector, they know how important this is. And so they spend money, actually, to make sure that the message is relayed as often enough so that people won't say that they didn't hear. Honorable Agbese, I'm going to come to you, but I've got to quickly bring in Mazi Okorafo, who has called in. Mazi Okorafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, guest on that. You see, this issue of tax, I don't know why we complain. You cannot run a country like Nigeria or any part of the African country, any part of the world without money, without funds. How do you relate this thing? If you look at Nigeria today now, most of the companies we have in Nigeria, many of them have got money for. Money for in the sense that because they cannot sustain. Now, how did the government sustain? Do this tax, do this revenue. How do they get this? Do this taxes. That is why I'm thinking that the government should be addressed. And the elite should be paying higher. All these Prado cars, they don't understand that they are stupid. Everything you do in April must go. So, if people say people travel outside Nigeria, they jump. How do you say that not Japan? What are they doing? Are they not paying taxes?
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mazi Okorafo. I beg your pardon, sir. Thank you very much, Mazi Okorafo, for calling in. And I do beg your pardon if I jumped in there. It's because we're fast running out of time. And I don't think people have any problem with paying tax. They just want it to be fair, not to be excessive, not to be taxed doubly, all of which Philip Agbese has spoken about. Yeah, so I can come back to you now, as we are preparing to go. Would you like to, relate to some of those issues that have just come up?
Yes, we as a parliament, we sympathize and appreciate at the same time what the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service is trying to do. We appreciate his level of patriotism because from the presentation he made before the parliament, we cannot see that it is now time, Nigerians learn to view their leaders or people who are in position of authority beyond, their facial or tribal marks. Some people have this, they have patriotism, embedded, in their DNA. And I think the young man in the Federal Land Revenue Service has done well from what he has done. But I also want to challenge him that the beautiful presentation made to the House of Representatives, he should also go out, copy from what we are doing in the People's Parliament to engage more Nigerians in town hall meetings.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you again, sir. I do really beg your pardon for interrupting you, but it's because we have just a precious few minutes left. And thank you very much for coming on the program. Now, you've spoken about the Governors Forum, and you've given your impressions there. Now, people listen to people like the Governors Forum and also other leaders. The traditional rulers in the north also came down heavily along the same lines as the traditional, as the Governors Forum, that this is not pleasing and it needs to be withdrawn. Now, how does one deal with that? Because, we derive our sense of direction from quite a number of various lines. So when when people as important as traditional rulers would apparently not actually also understand, going by what we've been speaking about, how do you deal with that? You probably have to now make sure that they also understand it. How big a task is that?
Yes, you see, when that institution, traditional rulers are mentioned anywhere, I get a little bit shy, reason being that I am a product of that institution and I have a lot of respect, for the traditional institution. However, I think patriotism behoves on us, to always, tell ourselves the truth, sometimes not in very harsh manner, but in a subtle way that we also drive home our point. And in saying this to our highly respected fathers, it's still back to the beginning of the conversation that there is a need, for our fathers, to further study the document and look at the merit. The few merits that they may see or expression that views that they may have, can still be routed through their representatives at the course of parliamentary work, and they will brush it, before.
Okay, I think we're going to have to leave it there, Honorable Philip Agbese. It's always a delight to chat with you, as we get opportunity to do from time to time. Thank you very much. At least what you're saying is that all Nigerians should make efforts to actually understand the bills that they, quite frankly, grappling to understand and see that, as you have said, and as the President has said, it's in the interest of the entire country, the bill that he has put forward. And it will be discussed vigorously at the National Assembly. You are in that process now, and in no too distant future, I imagine a vote will be taken on it and we'll know where we are. Once again, thank you very much, Honorable Philip Agbese.
It's a pleasure, Uncle Yori.
All right, then. So that's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.